back to another episode of Me and My Health Up. I'm your host, Anthony Hartcher. I'm a clinical nutritionist and lifestyle medicine specialist. The purpose of this podcast is to enhance and enlighten your well-being. And today I'll be doing that for you in relation to the Me and My Health Up Wellness News Wrap for the month of January. Yes, I'm going to be doing a monthly wellness wrap of all the news that's happening around the world to keep you up to date in the world of wellness. So let's start with what's happening in the month of January, or what has happened in the month of January. So there was plenty of news about cognition. And let me start with cognition. So there was an article in relation to coffee. And yes, coffee enhances cognition and motor skills. So that's the benefit of coffee. They also found a correlation between coffee consumption and cardiovascular disease. So the correlation was those that had cardiovascular disease symptoms drank less coffee than those that didn't. That was the correlation. So yeah, it's no surprise really, given what coffee does in terms of elevate your heart rate and gets the blood pressure up. So I can understand that. And the other one was around cognition, was certainly around this study on middle-aged people. And if they did 9 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity, it enhanced their cognition. So yes, if you're middle-aged like me, 9 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity per day enhances cognitive function. So moderate to vigorous is essentially getting somewhere between 60 to 80% of maximum heart rate. So it's pretty good. Just 9 minutes. So don't make up excuses that you can't exercise. The other one that also came about was the ChatGPT. You've probably heard about this AI bot. It's the most downloaded app around. So ChatGPT, Chat G for good, P for Paul, and T for Tom, is very popular at the moment. People are using it for search functions. They're asking it questions just like they do with Google and getting input or output that they really like, essentially. And they're talking a lot about it. And ChatGPT is doing presentations for people. It's helping places like there was this study that was done in Medscape at a hospital, and they were using it to input customer or client data and essentially giving output in terms of assessing what the condition could potentially be. And they found it highly accurate. They're also using it for their research papers to write abstracts and executive summaries of the research paper. And it was even writing a summary of the results of the research that they did. So ChatGPT, AI bot, it's starting to really emerge in a strong way. And of course, with anything AI related or Google search, yes, it just obviously retrieves information that's commonly out there. It doesn't necessarily assess it for its accuracy or validate it. So yeah, you'll get mixed reviews on it in terms of its accuracy. However, it certainly generally is really giving some good output, and that's why people are using it. That's why it's the most downloaded app. So, and I just wanted to leave you with this before we wrap up this month's wellness news wrap, is essentially, what's the best microbiome to determine accurately your age? I want you to have a guess between gut, oral, or skin. Which one do you think it is that could accurately determine your age by assessing your microbiome? Well, it is actually the skin microbiome. Surprisingly, we talk a lot about the gut microbiome. So therefore, it's really handy to look after your skin. So the skin microbiome, the oral microbiome, and the gut microbiome, they all talk to one another. And it's really important that we help all three of them. So yes, we talk a lot about helping the gut and making sure the gut is healthy. However, we got to also think about our skin and our oral microbiome. So our skin microbiome will be affected by a hand sanitizer, for example. So if we're over hand sanitizing, that's going to affect certainly your hand microbiome. And if you're over sanitizing your body, I'm sure you don't douse yourself in sterilizer, but essentially that will wipe out all the bacteria. And so, yes, there's beneficial bacteria and bacteria that's more harmful to us. And essentially, when we put on sterilizer, we're wiping out both. So it's really important that you note that everything in balance. We don't overdo it is really important. And it's the same with our oral microbiome. Obviously, we want clean teeth, and it's important to brush our teeth and to eat foods that are really going to support our oral microbiome. So you don't want to be having excessive sugar. Excessive sugar imbalances the microbiome in the mouth, essentially, and will promote candida overgrowth and things like that. So certainly in terms of, reducing your sugar intake into your mouth, washing your teeth regularly, but be careful of the mouthwash. It's a sanitizer, so it wipes out the microbiome in the mouth. And it's been shown in research papers that it can have detrimental effects on your long-term health in relation to cardiovascular disease. It's been linked to cardiovascular disease. It's been linked to dementia. So just watch out for that mouth sterilizer. It is not the greatest thing to be thinking, yes, it might sort of clean out your mouth, or it might help if you've got an overgrowth or something to just get that overgrowth back. But remember, you don't want to overdo anything. You essentially just want to get it back into balance. And to get it back into balance, you really want to look at what you're eating, okay, and how good you're cleaning your teeth, and flossing your teeth is really important. So that's pretty much the wrap for the month. There's going to be a wrap every month where I'm going to share the latest wellness news, the latest insight. But that's what I wanted to share with you this month. So enjoy and have a great month of February.
Podcast disclaimer. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions or statements within it do not constitute medical, healthcare or professional advice and are provided for general information purposes only. All care is taken in the preparation of the information in this podcast. Connected Wellness Proprietary Limited, operating under the brand me&my Health Up, does not make any representations or give any warranties about its accuracy, reliability, completeness, or suitability for any particular purpose. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions, or statements within it are not to be used as a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, psychiatric, or any other mental health care or healthcare in general. me&my Health Up recommends you seek the advice of a doctor or qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Inform your doctor of any changes that you may to your lifestyle and discuss these with your doctor. Do not disregard medical advice or delay visiting a medical professional because of something you hear in this podcast. This podcast has been carefully prepared on the basis of current information. Changes in circumstances after publication may affect the accuracy of this information. To the maximum extent permitted by the law, me&my Health Up disclaims any such representations or warranties to the completeness, accuracy, merchantability, or fitness for purpose of this podcast, and will not be liable for any expenses, losses, damages incurred, indirect or consequential damages, or costs that may be incurred as a result of the information being inaccurate or incomplete in any way and for any reason. No part of this podcast can be reproduced, redistributed, published, copied, or duplicated in a form without prior permission of me&my Health Up.